Dinner and a Book is supported by the Rex and Alice A. Martin Foundation of Elkhart, celebrating the spirit of Alice Martin and her love of good food and good friends.
In Sing for Your Life, the author Daniel Bergner beautifully tells the story of what it means for a young man to quite literally find his voice. In the life of Ryan Speedo Green, we see how a young black man can rise and hold on to hope, and despite all the forces working against him. Let's join my guest, Tuck Langland, to explore the life of this young man. Welcome.
Hi, Gail. It's always great to be here.
It's
good
good to
you
have
here.
you back, and I want to first of all tell you, I am so pleased you suggested this book.
Well, I loved it.
I did
loved
too, and I think it should be required reading for musicians. I mean, anybody, but musicians in particular that have a goal to succeed. And
Well, I am an opera lover. That's part of it. I am also a lover of the underdog.
Yes, I thought you were going to say Speedo bathing suits.
I'm also a lover of those.
Well,
I have one.
And the thing is, everybody wants to know why his middle name is Speedo. You know, his father used to work out.
He was a bodybuilder.
Yes, and he wore Speedos. And
Yeah.
here he names his son Speedo. Anyway, we don't forget the name. So we want to talk about this young man. Well, first of all, let's talk about what we're cooking.
Well, since there's not a lot of food mentioned in the book, but he did have a lot of difficulty and a lot of effort to learn Italian to sing, because so many operas are in Italian. And so I thought I would just simply do some Italian food. And we're going to start off with some spaghetti alla carbonara, which
Right.
means spaghetti in the manner of charcoal burners. And then we're going to move on to
Bacon.
chicken marsala, which is a
Yes.
very typical dish.
All right, you're going to start that. I'm going to be making a goulash. That is a dish from Central Europe. You have Hungarian goulash, you have Polish goulash, Czech, and we're going to have Viennese goulash. And that's in honor of Ryan and the beginning of his career. Not the very beginning, but if we want to start with Once Upon a Time, we would say this young man probably escaped death many times.
I think he did.
Yes. He grew up in a family that didn't get along. They fought. They
They
wanted
were violent.
to kill
Very
each
violent,
other.
Yeah.
And Ryan goes to a special school when he threatens to kill both his mother and his brother.
That special school is called juvenile detention.
Yes, it is.
It's a 6x9 cement box.
Well, it was a special school in, I think it was in Virginia, and
Yeah,
it was
it was.
known for helping, not always helping, but training and soothing and quieting down very, very unhappy children who were cruel and mean. And Ryan was one of them.
He was one of the coolest and the meanest. And he was big. He was a big fella, about 6'2" or 3", and powerful.
And the first day in school, he began by taking his desk and throwing it at the teacher.
Yeah.
How's that for a beginning?
There you go.
Oh,
now,
my
how
God.
is he going to come from that
Yes.
to stepping out on the stage of the Metropolitan freaking
It was a very difficult
boy.
beginning, and he worked hard. He, well, let's get back to the idea that when he came in, he had no skills. But
None.
when he behaved, he was given a radio by one of his teachers in solitary, and he started singing with the music.
Yeah.
And that's how he started his career as a musician. But it was really the school of hard knocks. And like many people, we have a teacher that saved us or put us in the right direction. And he had Mrs. Hughes. The day he threw the desk at her and his paper was all landed on the floor, she said, "Oh, I see that you'd like to work on the floor. Please go right ahead."
Yeah.
And that's how she got his attention.
And she was just a wonderful,
Oh, my
wonderful
goodness.
woman.
You know, children are so lucky to have
She was
a
really, in
teacher
many
like
ways,
that.
the turning point of his life.
Yes.
And he had other teachers that were also,
There
they
were- there
just
was-
believed in him.
Yes, there was a Mr. Hughes, and then there was a Mr. Brown, big man, and he went to several sort of medium training schools, and every place he went, he had someone that would, cover him, help him.
Yeah.
And one asked him to sing in a melancholy way. He had no idea what the word meant. He said, "What am I supposed to do?" That's how, left
He had to start
behind.
from scratch.
He had to start from scratch.
Yeah.
And like we're doing with our food here. And I've got to be sure I just want to say this goulash, I'm going to cook some onions, some garlic, and the three things for goulash, you have to have green pepper. And so I have also, you can use any kind of meat, ground beef, veal, you can use chicken. I'm using a little ground turkey. And then we add tomato sauces and stewed tomatoes, and we let this cook for a while. And I add vegetable broth, and then I'm going to add a cup of, it said macaroni, but there's something about macaroni. So I decided to buy rotini, and we're going to put that in to cook. And we can serve people, forever on this dish. So now you've got your bacon under control.
The bacon
right?
needs to be cooked till it's fairly crisp and broken up
I see.
in little pieces. And I have here a bowl.
Yes.
And in the bowl, I put an egg yolk.
And what did you put on top of it? Is
I
that
put in a few hot peppers.
okay? May I borrow some?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll have to pay them back.
I'll bring you.
So I
I'll bring
take
you
the
hot
bowl.
peppers.
With that, and I'm going to put in a bunch of this Parmesan cheese in the green cans. This has got sawdust in it. You know that?
Does it?
It says contents. I can't see where it says. But it's got cellulose.
Is that to hold it together and give it body?
Yeah, so it doesn't clump.
Ah,
anyway.
yes. Just the
Cellulose
opposite.
is sawdust.
Well, fancy that. And I'm going to put in 2 15-ounce cans of stewed tomatoes, and then some tomato sauce, and then we'll put in the seasonings. But I've got to get back to this hot oil here. Make sure we aren't going to go up in flames.
Which we've done.
Yeah, 1 onion, 1 big green pepper. I should have a little bigger pan, but it got away from me this morning. It didn't come with me from Elkhart. This is about gas. This is why I never can find the right way to cook it, and I've been on these gas stoves forever.
I love gas stoves. To me, they're great.
Why do you like them?
Well, first of all, you turn it on, you got heat. As opposed to you turn it on, you have to wait. And the second thing is that you turn it off, you haven't got heat. As opposed to it keeps cooking and cooking and cooking.
Well, and those new burners, the flat, smooth
Yeah.
top, I actually like them. A lot of people burn themselves because they forget that they've turned it off with the burner still hot. Okay, I love garlic, so we've got to have a lot of garlic in here. And you can add your own seasoning. I happen to like it spicy. And when people say goulash, when I was growing up, it was kind of a term, and I think it's because my family didn't cook it. But it seemed to be part of the immigrant experience.
Well,
But
it's one of those one-pot meals where you can throw all sorts of things in. If you haven't got this, you can use that.
Yes.
It's not a specific, precise thing. It's not like Tornados Rossini where you have to have the pate and the right fillet or anything like
food
that.
like that, you have to be locked away in your kitchen by yourself and concentrating.
Yeah.
And I've always found that was difficult in my family life.
Well, the other thing is that goulash has no specific cooking time. When it's done, you can hang on to it for an hour, 2 hours. So if you're inviting people over, you can have the goulash basically done before they get there, and it just sits there on a
Yes.
warm stove.
And that's what I like to do. If I'm having people over, I like to be talking with them. And
No.
but you do it well. You talk, and then you move to the kitchen. Then we don't see you for a while. You're cooking away.
It depends on what I'm cooking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to add some Baileys. I know you don't like them.
Bailey's
Bay leaves.
Yeah, I never can taste them.
Oh, you better go to the doctor. Better see what's happening
Why,
to
do
your
doctors
taste.
taste like bay leaves?
No. Okay, we have
Well,
that.
I'm just waiting for the old al dente here. You know the 3 types of Italian food? Al dente, Alfredo, and al fresco. The 3 Al's.
What's Fredo? Fried?
No, Alfredo. Linguine Alfredo, yeah.
That's a sauce, right?
Yeah,
right,
that's
right.
a sauce. See, I'm making a sauce here for these noodles, and the sauce is a raw egg yolk.
Now, are we moving ahead on this?
Well, we're getting there. The spaghetti's getting there.
Okay.
I'm crumbling bacon into it. This is the bacon I just cooked, and that just crumbles up very
So
nicely.
you just beat up an egg and
It-
put
yeah.
a little red pepper,
A little red pepper, a little salt and pepper.
and you're cooking for 1, right? You would double
No, I'm
this?
cooking for 2.
Oh, you are.
But in typical Italian dinners, there will very often be a pasta dish which is very small. We would say, I want a piece of spaghetti like that. No, you get a little tiny thing like this because it just takes a little bit off your appetite, and you can spend less money and time on expensive things like roasts and meats and stuff.
Well, and that's, I think, if you have someone helping you and you are doing the different courses. And so here's the last, I'm actually using
Oh boy,
sauce. Oh boy is right.
you got enough there for the 8th Army.
I do. I'm going to welcome them too. All right, we've got that put together. Now, what am I going to do with these rotinis? I'm going to guess that I have a cup in here, and Tuck, I'm getting the wrap sign that we should be ending this segment.
Well,
How are you doing there?
I'm doing fine, and all I want to say is that at about this point in Ryan's life, he's discovered that he has a voice.
Yes. Well, he tries out for the Met, the young people, and 1,200 students, and guess who wins?
He does.
He does.
Well, there were actually several winners because there's tenors and contraltos and so on. But he's a bass or bass baritone. You can.
But he needed training.
Oh,
The
did he
thing,
ever?
I think I noticed that a lot of people knew he was lacking in skills, and they would help him. They'd give him extra help because he tried so hard. Don't you feel that?
I think so. I think they just believed in him. You know that this kid's got potential.
Yes.
He's going to go somewhere, and we're going to help him.
Right. And we're going to go somewhere pretty soon.
Yeah, he's whining. We're going to go away.
And I'm going to put some vegetable. You can put anything in here. You can put a beef. You can just fashion it to your diet or what you like. So we're going to let this cook, and I will sample it before I serve it because I like it hot, but a lot of people don't. So
And that's to him.
what do I have in here? Oh, these guys. Yeah, they've got to go in here. The onion and the green pepper. There they are.
So that's
So-
the basic goulash.
Yes, this is the basic goulash. Now we're going to take a little break, get ready for the second segment. And in the meantime, we want to show you some pictures of young Ryan Speedo Green. And we'll be right back. And we are talking about the book Sing for Your Life. It's about the life of Ryan Speedo Green. And right here, we're looking at the life of Tuck Langland. Tell us what you're doing in this pot.
No, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing in this pot.
Okay, you go there on that.
This pot here, I'm making spaghetti alla carbonara. I've got spaghetti noodles I've cooked. They're hot. I've taken a bowl, I've put in an egg yolk, crumbled bacon, and some Parmesan cheese, and that gets poured in there.
Oh, you were a busy lad, weren't you?
Oh, I'm a busy lad. I'm a busy lad. This gets poured in there, and this gets cooked by the heat of the noodles.
Right.
That's the trick to this. So I pour it in when it's very hot, stir the noodles around,
So it
and
is
that
cooked.
becomes a very interesting little pre-main course Italian dish.
And look at that. Very
and
nice.
And it's a small amount because you got to eat a main course.
See, he
and
loves to serve courses. Your dinners are several courses.
Yes.
And so there's course number one.
Yep.
And
Pasta course.
a pasta course. Yes.
And you've all heard of antipasta. That means before the pasta. That's little pieces of salami and olives and things like that. There's
Okay.
that.
All right,
Now-
let me have the pan.
All right,
And
you
you
can have the
get
pan.
cracking and tell us what you're doing on
And
this.
I'm putting a little proper Parmesan on top.
proper Parmesan. I like that.
And over here, I'm going to make chicken, what do you call it? Marsala.
Yes.
I
And
have-
why is it marsala?
Because I'm using Marsala, which is an Italian fortified wine, as part of the sauce.
Yes.
These are chicken breasts that I've pounded out flat. I'm sprinkling some flour on them.
Hey, hit them once so people can hear that.
Well, I'll turn
now
them
the-
over and hit them again.
Now the flour's going to fly everywhere, right?
Not really.
No?
Not too bad, no.
And why do you put the flour in?
It helps thicken the sauce.
All right, there you go.
Yeah. So you use a mallet like this, you put a little saran wrap on it, and you just bang the heck out of it.
And he wants everything to be uniformly thin,
Mm-hmm.
and everything will be cooked.
Roughly evenly, yeah.
Yes,
Now,
evenly.
Julia Child has a recipe for these, which is absolutely the greatest, in which it's 3 minutes on one side and 2 on the other, and it's just fantastic.
All
So
right.
I put them in. I've got some mushrooms already sautéed. I've got those little things. What do you call it?
Oh,
The little not onion things.
shallots.
Shallots. I got shallots in there, and this will be done very quickly. And what we'll add to it is some cream, some stock, and some marsala.
So you're going to cook 3 minutes on one side and 2 minutes on the other side.
Just about.
And then you're going to put your liquids in,
Yep.
and you're going to sprinkle a little. Does this go on your?
That goes on there on the chicken. No, on the chicken.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that goes on the chicken. I got it.
you're done. Do you need this?
No, done with it. Thank you. I need a servant.
We all do.
Well,
we need a sous chef.
thing-
Everybody needs a sous chef. Yeah.
I know it. That's not a shoe chef. Anyway, one of the things that interested me in the book, of course, is his rise, Speedo Green rise from absolutely the bottom rung of society to really very near the top rung of society. And he does it
in
with
music society.
in music society, yeah.
And you know, Renee Fleming says people don't know just how hard it is to become an opera singer. It is a difficult, difficult career. And here he jumps in and he loves it, and he tries out for the Vienna Opera, and lo and behold, he gets accepted. His
Yes, he
first major accomplishment, not accomplishment, but live opera.
Yeah.
And the book doesn't say much about his life in Vienna. I would like to hear a little bit more about that, but he does meet Irene. And Irene has had a pretty hard life too. I can't remember if she is Russian. Can't remember.
I think she might have been.
And they hit it off because they both had to work hard after they came to the Vienna Opera.
You know, you have to have a great voice to be an opera singer, but that's only the start. That's only the start. And the rest of it, one of the things that impressed me was the music lessons, the voice lessons he got, which were amazing because one of the teachers brought in a diagram of the various small openings and cavities inside your head, which are resonance chambers.
But you can't say, okay, I got this resonance
Yeah, no.
chamber and I have to sing harder over here.
He
It's
gave
just
him
the way-
exercises
Yes.
to try to move his voice into these spaces.
Well, you know, and that is the secret. Sometimes you may have a nice sounding voice, but you'll never be an opera singer because you don't have those spaces. Your body,
Or you haven't worked hard enough, yeah.
well, but you can't, change your head by singing, but you can use your brains to make it happen.
Well, I've read the book by Renee Fleming. This is a little salt.
Yes.
Do you know the Kentucky Fried Chicken 11 secret herbs and spices?
No.
A laboratory did a test on those to find out what they were. And you know what they were?
No.
Salt and pepper.
Okay, there you go.
That's your 11
Okay.
secret herbs and spices.
Okay, now we're back to Ryan.
Now we're back to right. So anyway,
So
yes.
what's the reaction to him in Vienna when he is singing the first time?
It was good, wasn't it?
Yes, it was very good. And I think, in the opera world, they're really kind of snobbish.
Oh, yeah.
They want to find out, they want to talk about what you didn't do right first. And we didn't get a real in-depth discussion of that from the author. But we assume he did it all right because he is now building this career.
Yep.
And I hope that we can get a little clip, or you can go to YouTube and get the clip where Trevor Noah interviews Ryan on his show. And Trevor Noah also came from a very poor background, but had a loving grandmother that stayed with him.
Cream.
And there's the cream going in. And then hey, this is good. And don't forget us, too.
I will take care of that, don't worry.
So anyway, Trevor Noah just looks like he is awestruck by this young man. They both came from similar circumstances. I don't think, well, yes, Trevor was abused too by a stepfather. Oh my gosh. Whew. Don't you want half of this?
No, I want twice that.
Oh, well.
If we're doing math, I mean, what
See,
the
it
heck?
smells very good in here.
There we go. Now we let that just simmer a while and thicken a bit, and we have ourselves a dish.
Wrong one. See how we're always, on this show, everybody
In fact,
bobs
the chicken's
down
done, so I'm putting that out.
to look at the
let
flame.
and let the sauce thicken without the
Now,
chicken.
you cooked it about 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's about all.
But then you get to cook this down a tiny bit.
I'll
and
cook it down a little bit, put it on it, put some parsley on it, and that's it. Voila, the dish.
You're going to put it on there, and we have, and I have the dish here for young opera singers who are at the bottom of the rung, they're at the first rung, and they need to spend their money wisely. And anyway, let's do a toast to Ryan
Yes.
and Irene, his
Yes.
new wife.
What a wonderful guy he was.
What?
Oh, that's nice.
I just wonder, we could stay here and plate if you like, or we can go to the table. I think we'll stay in the kitchen. What do you think?
I like to stay in the kitchen.
What do you say?
I like the heat.
So we're going to stay here. We're going to put him in the heat. We're having our little sip, and we've toasted Irene and Ryan Speedo Green.
Yep.
And I would say go to YouTube and enter his name, and you will see him interviewed several times, and you may even have a segment of him singing.
You got to hear him singing because they often call it a bass baritone, but in fact it's a bass voice. It's a low voice with wonderful, wonderful resonance. I personally think the greatest baritone that ever lived was Leonard Warren, but he was more of a baritone. He was a higher voice than Ryan's, and this is probably done. So here's what I do.
Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? And so he has
There's
made,
the dish.
This is for 2 people.
Yep, there's the
And
dish.
we're going to invite you to stay in our kitchen, and we should have a sampling of something here. Don't we?
We've got to have a sampling because, I don't want to cook all that and have it just sit there.
Well, let's
I want to try a little spaghetti carbonara. You want some
try.
of that?
Sure, let's do that. I gave you a fork, I think. Well, I'll give you.
Yes, I've got one here.
If you like
I've
a
got
fresh
2
one.
forks.
You don't have to use the one with the flour on it. Here, take a fresh
Oh,
one.
I'll do this. Look at this.
All right, you do what
Voila.
you wish.
Voila. And I need
And
a
this
knife,
is this is carbonara. This is the spaghetti carbonara with bacon and a egg. It's the whole egg or just the yolk?
I use the yolk this time. I think the white makes it a little runnier.
Very good. Cut a little corner right there. We have 1 minute to go. I have to give you a dish to put it on, just a corner. Dish. Here we go.
Voila. You got a dish one? Okay. Okay, I'll eat it right off of here. This is fine.
Would you like a dish?
No, I'm okay. This should work.
Perfect. And another reason maybe you mentioned
Hot.
you pound it, it cooks faster. That means you have to stand in the kitchen and then invite your friends in. Try seeing that video of our man, Ryan Speedo, and we are ending our show, Chuck.
I know it.
It's sad, isn't it? Because
It's
it
been
was
wonderful.
so much fun.
All I can say about this book is it is absolutely a page turner, and it's so uplifting. So uplifting.
It definitely is. I highly recommend it. And now we want to thank you for joining us. Remember, good food, good friends, good books, and somebody who enjoys eating and cooking, Huck Langland, for joining me today.
I wouldn't cook as much as I do if I didn't like eating.
Well,
I do like eating.
and you love to prepare food too.
I love it. I love it. Well, you've been the beneficiary of my cooking a lot. Just the other night.
Recently, yes.
We had a 6-course meal just the other night.
So, thank you for watching, and thank you for sharing your time with us, and we'll see you next time.
This WNIT local production has been made possible in part by viewers like you. Thank you.
Dinner and a Book is supported by the Rex and Alice A. Martin Foundation of Elkhart, celebrating the spirit of Alice Martin and her love of good food and good friends.